Who doesn't like a Toyota Celica GT-Four? Now that is a proper car. But not only is it a GT-Four, this is Motor Addicts GT-Four. So if you like high-octane automotive YouTube videos, go and check them out. Motor Addicts on YouTube. They're a massive channel. They're local to us. And this is Nick from Motor Addicts. So there's no point in me giving you the specs. Go onto their site, check out GT-Four on Motor Addicts. He'll give you all the specs on the vehicle, what it does, what it's got, turbo something, I don't really know. But all it's coming to us for is a non-start. So Nick parked this up end of last year. I think it was December. Battery went flat, never started since. So he brought it into us. Nick's had to go over it himself, see if he could fix it, see if he could find the fault. He couldn't, so he's contacted us. Owen, who's one of the three of Motor Addicts, we've been dealing with each other since we first started 18, 19 years ago. So he's gone, contact RMS, take it down there. If they can't fix it, scrap it. So we're going to get into it. It has got an aftermarket alarm in it. Let's just show you what we got. I think it is, what is it? Auto watch, aftermarket immobiliser. So that's the first thing we're going to be checking. These immobiliser units, they literally just run a couple of relays inside. You chop into the ECU wiring to turn the ECU off some way, either fuel, spark, or the ECU itself, and you chop into the starter motor wire, and then when you press the button, connects the relay together, sends the voltage down it. Then relays fail. So good chance that it's down to this. So we're going to find out where they've fitted that alarm module, trace it back, find out where they've cut into the wiring. We're not just going to remove it, because if this is still good, there's no point in taking it out. So we're going to load test that, make sure it's giving out enough voltage through to whatever they've cut into, and then we'll have a look at that. So I'm going to go and find the immobiliser, and I'll show you what we're going to do. We've found the alarm. All we've done, we've stripped all the glove box out. It's tucked right up out of the way. We've stripped that down. It's only a two-stage alarm, so it is cutting just the starter motor and the ECU wiring. So we've traced the one what goes to the ECU, because the starter is cranking over, so we know that that relay is okay. Now what we need to do is check the input from one wire to the output, because they've literally cut into one, and they'll have two black wires on it. So them two wires should match. If it's got voltage coming in, it should be giving voltage out. If it's not, we know that we can just bypass it, and hopefully that'll get it working. Let's have a look if that is reading right. So we've got the alarm over here. It's all been wired in. These two black ones go over to the ignition switch. These two black ones go up behind here, and they drop down into the ECU loom, which is over there. So this white wire, which does come in and then over to the ECU or back, whichever way it is. So we're going to pull them back, just check what we've got on each wire, and hopefully they match. Or hopefully they don't, because it'll be a nice easy job if it is just the immobiliser. Right, so with ignition on, we got no voltage on that, and 0 volts on that. So that must mean, so they are matching. But that might mean that that's the control to the fuel pump or something like that. So maybe that's what they've cut that into. We have got a wiring diagram, but before we go to that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to crocodile clip between the two, because we know that that's definitely the right wire. We're going to put a crocodile clip between them, turn it over, see if it makes any difference. The moment the engine ECU isn't powering up at all. No buzzing, no nothing. So let's try that, see if it makes a difference. And then if not, we'll have to make a different decision. One on there, other black one, that end. Let's sort that out. Right, let's go and see if it makes any difference. Yeah, still no fuel pump. Nothing. Just the ABS pumping, buzzing up, I think it is. Okay. So we know it's not that side of the aftermarket alarm. It doesn't have a standard alarm or immobiliser in it, so that's one thing we can rule out. So Nick has given us a workshop manual, which he says has got the diagram in for this. So let's have a look at that, work out some testing we're going to do. Let's see what's going on. Toyota Celica Electrical Wiring Diagram Supplement, 1995. So let's show you what we've got in here. Right, before we zoom in on this, this is going back old school of way things work. You have to work through a diagram from battery, through a fuse, through a switch, through a relay, back down to see what it's going to give to the ECU or whatever components. It does say actually on the ECU, which is quite a well-written thing, whether it's battery or, you know, what's going on. So that's a little bit more helpful, but to actually work out exactly how it's going, this is the old school way of doing it. So let's have a look. I'll show you this. So the only problem is it does go over 2 pages. So we have got battery up through mega fuses, through ignition switch, down through other fuses, one to a resistor, which goes through injectors, through a control relay, EFI relay. Then the EFI relay is controlled by ones and earth. Oh, that's a switch live. So that should then turn the relay on. So there's quite a bit going on. So we're going to do one thing at a time. We're going to work out, to start with, it does say here, so if we work this one back, that one says battery, pin 1, work it back to B, back on here on B, so back on this one on B, goes right the way across, down to one fuse, a 15 amp EFI fuse. So best way to test it, let's go straight to pin 1, battery on, so that's plug B, which is a 22 pin plug. So that's what we're going to look at first. While we're doing this type of thing, considering how confusing it is, it can get a bit overwhelming. So we're going to write down what we found on what pin. So we have got plug B, right, B, 22 pin plug, right, pin 1, yep, pin 1, battery plus. Right, we're going to go and check that, see if it has actually got battery plus, and if it has, note down the voltage next to it. So we're going to put a little equal sign, because if we go back over this and work it out, and so even if something's changed while we're testing it, we know for a fact that we tested that pin. We're not just going to go, yeah, that's right, yeah, that's right, yeah, that's right. We're going to go and check it, come back, mark it down. Like I say, because if something changes halfway through, then it starts, we'll go, actually, we didn't have 12 volt on that, we had 7 volts or something like that. So we're going to go and check that first, have a look, see what's going on, and then we'll mark it down, move on to the next thing. So the ECU is in the center console on these, just in front of the sort of gear stick. So we've pulled that out and show you what we've got. Here it is, here's the ECU, and this is plug B, pin 1, pink, and we have got battery voltage, 12.3. That's okay. So the next thing we're going to see is if that knows that the ignition is being turned on. So somehow, once you turn it on, it'll either be through a relay, that EFI relay, or maybe just a direct switch from there to there. That's the next thing we're going to go and check. So let's find out where that's meant to be. Right, so we've got 12.3 volts on battery. It's not actually battery plus, and I'll show you why. So this was the one we were just looking at. That's called battery. If we check from the ignition switch up out there, turn the ignition on, it comes along, turn the ignition on, it puts power to through fuse 7, no, through this 7.5 amp fuse, drops down, up through a connector block, onto this EFI relay. That relay is powered from the ignition switch. It's got earth path for the coil. We've got voltage coming into this relay from the EFI fuse. And then when you turn the ignition on, this relay should flick across and then send voltage out, down, through plug, well, through the brown and red, black and red, to pit. So to C on here, comes along, drops down, got this connector block, but everything what comes out of it, again, is switch live, down to the ISC valve, turbo pressure sensor, So you idle up and your EGR system, but it also sends it out down to the ECU on battery plus. So that is ignition switch, and that is B12. And B12 on here is the one underneath the pink one we were just on. Hopefully you followed on that. So the next one is, what was that? Battery plus is B12. Pin 12, battery plus. Well, let's go and check what we've got on that. So we're back probed into the black and red. We've got earth there at the moment. Turn the ignition on, and we've got 12.1. With that one test, we didn't need to go from fuse to relay to ignition switch and back out, etc. It is shown that that whole circuit is flicking the relay on, moving across, sending it down to the ECU. So it is receiving the control to turn it on. But we've still got nothing going on. We got no engine management light, no fuel pump buzzing up, nothing. Right, let's have another look, see what it can be. Whiteboards are okay, but we've got something slightly better coming out. We haven't designed some full A4 sheets, which are going to be printable. You can keep with your job card. It's going to have some basic checks that you can just list down in the right order, keep you a bit more consistent. So stick around to the end of the video. I'll tell you how you can apply for them, and we'll send them through to you free of charge. So if you want to be on the waiting list, stick around to the end. We've got 12.1 on that one, although the battery could be starting to die a little bit. So the next thing is obviously the earths. So we've got our battery voltage in, we've got our switch live in. If we got our earth, we should be getting something out. So as long as we got that, we could be coming down to an ECU issue. And the good thing with this one is, it is a basic ECU. This is not more modern cars with CAN bus communication and everything like that. Too many people try and condemn an ECU by just going, yeah, well, we can plug into it, must be that. We checked some fuses, must be that. But this is quite an old basic thing. So if that's not turning on and not turning the mill light on, I don't know. We will check the output to see if it's trying to power up the fuel pump relay, to see if it is triggering that. But if it's not, we might be going down that route. So let's work out where the earth's going to be. Make sure we got that on it. Let's find out what's going on there. So the main earth coming up to the engine ECU literally goes from plug C, 13, 14 and 26. Let's go and make sure we haven't lost any earth on that one. So we'll go to plug 14, pin 14 on plug C, which is the bigger plug. Make sure we got it on there. So there we go, plug 14. We've got earth. Plug 13, 26, and their earth as well. Last check is down to the fuel pump. If that's not giving anything out, I think we're going to have to pull the ECU out, have a look, see if we can see anything going on in it. So, right, let's have a look at that. Lives and earths look good. We are going to load test them at some point. We'll have a quick look at that in a minute. The thing we're waiting for it to do is when you turn the ignition on, it should power up the fuel pump relay, put on the engine management light. Nick's already checked spark and fuel. We've got nothing coming out, so it's as if the whole ECU is dead. So we're going to have a quick check just to see if it is giving out a control for the fuel pump relay, see if that gives us any sort of indication. So we've just had a look. It powers from, the main power comes through from the EFI relay. That gives the power to the fuel pump relay to be able to control it. So we know that that bit is turning on because the EFI relay is powering up the ECU. So what we're going to do, we've traced it back. The control for that goes to plug A, which is the center plug, and pin 16. So plug A, that's a 16 pin plug. And we are checking pin 16. Let's see if we get any sort of control wire on that, or control down to the relay. And then we'll have to go a bit deeper. Then the last thing is literally just load test the wires up. Pin 16, center plug, see what that's doing. This is pin 16. I've tried it cranked. I've tried it just ignition on. It is giving no output at all. So last thing we're going to do, we are just going to load test the earth. We're going to go straight onto the earth with the Load Pro. over to the lives, just load them up, make sure that we haven't got any sort of volt drop. If that's not it, we're going to open up the ECU, make sure we're getting the right sort of voltages inside in case somebody's been probing and opening up any of them pins or anything like that. We're only testing it as we've received it. Doesn't look like anyone's been in there, but you're never sure. So yeah, we're going to open up the ECU, have a look in there and see how we go with that. But as far as we can see, we're all good apart from the ECU itself. So, but let's do a quick load test on it, see what we can find. We've got our load probe, that's set up onto our multimeter. Let's show you what we're doing. These are literally just test probes which go into your multimeter, but it has got a resistor in here when we press the button to put a load onto the circuit. So we go onto there, got 11.5, press the button, drops down 0.2 volt, and off, drops back up. So that is using the earth of the ECU, and that was the main power in, the battery voltage in. Let's flick the ignition on. So we go to the switch live on the pin below, and again we're connected up to the switch live, 12 volt, put it down, 0.3 of a volt is dropping down. So that's confirmed the main live's in, the main live, switch live, and the earth to the ECU. So I'm going to get the ECU out, strip that down, hopefully I can see something in there. So I'll show you it when it's on the bench. Oh no, so we've got the back of the ECU off. A capacitor's leaked onto the circuit board. You can't see it very well there, but what I'm going to do, I've got a repair bench at home in my workshop, so I'm going to take it home, strip it out. Hopefully I might get a little bit of footage on what I'm going to do. I've ordered another capacitor, so hopefully it's only that. It might have done some damage on the board or some traces, but I might be able to do some repairs on them. And if I can, hopefully that's it, and you know, it will get going. If not, it might be a new ECU. But we'll have a go at that. I'll show you it on the bench, and we'll try our best. Right, I'll show you what we found inside this ECU. So mainly up here is there's some damage under the capacitor. Looks like it's damaged the trace there. There's a little bit up around this resistor, just some corrosion and a little bit on the conformal coating, but we can scratch that away, give it a bit of a clean up. The first thing, let's remove this capacitor and check what's going on with that trace there. It's meant to have continuity, it doesn't, but it has it between the top point and the burn, and the bottom point and the burn. So what we're going to do is just scrape off some of this conformal coating with our little pen grinder, and then get it ready, give it a bit of a clean, ready to take some solder. So that's looking fairly clean at the time, so add some flux, add some solder, get it ready. What we're going to do is actually add some solder braid. So this is a solder braid we'll use for cleaning up the circuit board. Ready for the repair, and here's the solder braid we're going to use. We're just going to tin it, stick a bit of solder on it, and then it's ready to solder onto the board to sort of replace that trace, and then we'll see whether it's actually going to repair the car. So that's that done. Let's get back to the workshop. So don't forget, we're having these worksheets printed out. If it's something what you think you could use, stick around to the end of the video. I'll let you know how we're going to get them. It's free of charge for you. You can leave them with every job as you're doing it. So let's get back into this. Place your bets. Is it going to work? Who knows? So obviously, you've seen what I've sort of done. Add a new capacitor in there, done a repair on that trace. So we're going to plug it back in, see if there's any difference. See if the fuel pump buzzes up, see if the engine buzzes up, things like that. Maybe it will start, I don't know. And again, it's been sat for a while, could have old fuel in it, could be a number of things. But if we can get this on, engine management light turns on, and it buzzes up under the engine, at least we're getting somewhere. So I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to do it live. Watch this. There we go. Right, got a jump pack on it. Oh, these ain't the easiest of things to get it. There we go. Right. So, just make sure it's locked. That's unlocked. Oh, no, someone's phoning me. Right, 2 seconds. Somebody's ruining my shot. Jesus. So, right. Alarm's off. Oh, we have engine management light. He's a genius. Seriously? I mean, that is ticking over bang on. I know it's a nice car and it has been used, but an old classic, been sat around for 8 or 9 months, you'd expect a little misfire or something. Engine lights out. Let's just show you. Not that you didn't believe me. How sweet is that? Well, I better phone the boys up, tell them it's done. I'm sure they're going to be over the moon. So, right, I can get it back together. I'll get it back together and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. And there we go, another one done. So thanks so much to Motor Addicts for giving me the opportunity to work on this one. Collaborations, do they work? Are they worth doing? I've never thought they were. I don't think, or I've seen, in fact, I've seen people go on to Matt Armstrong channel, go and do something. Maybe the rappers will go on there. They go and rap these cars. They go in there, they do it all for nothing. And then Matt goes, go and check out their channel. They're amazing. For a YouTuber, yeah, it's not. I don't think people will watch all Matt's stuff, rebuilding salvage cars, are then going to go and watch somebody doing rapping and things like that. You know, so it is a bit different because, yeah, they might all move over there. Might get 100,000 subscribers overnight from Matt's channel. Only 5% of them might watch him regularly because they like what he does. So I don't want to build my channel on the back of other people. This is a perfect job. They've got a car what's got an electrical fault, it's broken down, they want me to fix it. They haven't even asked about payment or anything like that. Just, hello mate, can you fix my car? There we go. So I'm happy to promote them. If you like their type of content, go and watch them, go subscribe, that's all good. So the only other person I've really done a collaboration with is DTE TV. Go and check out his stuff if you like caddies, transporters, all that sort of stuff. He's very good at what he does, but he's a good friend of mine and he helped me start the channel. And we've done a couple of bits together, I've done a few lives together, and yeah, that's really good. You know, a lot of our viewers know each other, so that's pretty good. So if you've come from Motor Addicts because they've showed this on their channel and they've said that I've fixed it, stick it down below that you've come over from them. If you like this type of content, check out a couple of my other videos. If you like it, stick subscribing, because I don't want you just to subscribe just because the lads have said, you know, go check him out. I only really want you to subscribe if you think you're going to like the channel. So if you do, thanks very much. If not, you know, crack on. Hope you like this video. So yeah, thanks so much for that. But it's another one done. It's running. Job's a carrot. And if you're watching my video first, go and check out Motor Addicts. Make sure you give them a little like. Stick it down below that you've come from RMS. And again, and if you like their type of content, stick subscribing. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Love you. Bye.